Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Warren. I am a banker here in London and a property investor across the UK. My goal is to live free and independently from property. So I'm looking for an income of £3,000 per month from property. If that's what you're onto, like, subscribe. That is what my channel is all about. So guys, 10 years have passed since the Help to Buy scheme came into effect in the UK. And today I'm asking a searching kind of introspective question, which is, was the Help to Buy scheme really worth it? Full transparency, I am a user of the Help to Buy scheme. I used it to buy my very first house, the one that I live in. Me and my wife are getting to a point now where we need more space. We're gonna have to upsize and we're gonna have to sell our Help to Buy property. And there are a few left field, unexpected things that have come with that I'm gonna discuss in this video. Stuff like the price of the property going down. What does that mean for the Help to Buy loan? How much you have to pay off, the fees associated with that, etc, etc. So I'm going to address this video in a form of a balanced view, pros and cons of the Help to Buy scheme. So let's start with the pros. I like to be positive. Start with the pros of the Help to Buy scheme and whether the Help to Buy scheme was really worth it. The first pro, guys, is that the minimal deposit, 5%, gives the people in this country a much needed access to getting onto the property ladder and affordability. The biggest hurdle, guys, and I'll say this over and over again on this channel throughout the years, biggest hurdle to get onto the property ladder in the UK especially is the size of the deposit. Most people do not have that 5-10%.
And so we don't have the capacity
ready to go. It takes years and often help from family members, parents, etc, etc, to get to that deposit. It is easier in other countries and has been easier for past generations. When I look at my grandparents, they bought their houses for like 15, 20 grand. When my mum was of buying age in her 30s, properties were still around the 100, 150 mark. So it was easier then than it is now, okay? The average price of a property in London is over £500,000. That's what's facing Gen Z and millennials like me today. And to back that up real quickly, I want to show you the stats on affordability of property in the UK over time. So this graph here from the Office for National Statistics on housing affordability ratio trends. So this is the ratio of your wage to the average price of a house in the UK. And we're going back just 20 something years to 2000. I want you to focus on the line in dark blue for England. So in the year 2000, the average price of a property in England was 4.69 times your salary. And then between 2000, right, to 2000 and let's say 2008, that is a big jump in just 8 years. Almost doubled, right, in the space of just 8 years, from 4.69 to 8.18 times your salary. So that was a clear property boom that happened during that period. And of course there was a crash. But interestingly, guys, the affordability didn't actually drop that much. Like, we've got a low of 7.54. That is not that much at all. And then it quickly recovered back towards 8 a few years later. Fast forward to the most recent stats, 2022, in England, 8.44 times your salary. So within our generation, the price of the average property has almost doubled. So then when we're talking about the Help to Buy scheme giving us access, it allows us to put up a smaller deposit, 5% as opposed to 10, 15%. And therefore, people like us, young people looking to get onto the property ladder, have more access. The second pro, when it comes to whether the Help to Buy scheme was worth it or not, is that it is interest-free, okay?
Yeah.
The portion that the government is lending you, all the way up to 40% of the value of the house, is interest-free for 5 years. Why is that a good thing? Because it really gives you some breathing space for that period of time. Yes, they start charging interest at the market rate after that, but 5 years of an interest-free portion of the mortgage is very helpful because all of us pay interest on our mortgages throughout the life of the loan. So if you're getting a moratorium, a break, a respite, a grace period of 5 years, I'm grabbing it with both hands, guys. So in that respect, really good. And then thirdly, guys, when it comes to whether the Help to Buy scheme was really worth it or not, the properties built under the Help to Buy scheme were new builds. It was a partnership with developers. So you're getting a brand new house, usually with little to no issues, structural issues, repair issues. They're good to go. You're not going to have a lot of hassle when it comes to stuff breaking down, needing expensive repairs, etc. Most of these properties come with a warranty period as well. So if anything does break down in that period, you're covered under the warranty. So in summary, guys, when it came to me personally as to whether the Help to Buy scheme was worth it, it certainly was for me because it gave me access access to the property ladder in terms of its affordability, the 5% deposit. It was interest free for 5 years, which was great, and it was a new build property. Allowed me to get onto the housing ladder, okay? I didn't have money from my parents, grandparents, didn't have savings, didn't have a trust fund. I was starting from scratch. I did it myself, so it was a helpful scheme for me personally, but nothing is perfect, guys. So let's talk about the cons. First of all, guys, we have to talk about the premium that you pay for these new build properties. And I'm gonna elaborate on this point in more detail when we come on to the other cons. But many of us are overpaying for these new build properties. They come at a premium. This news article from Which sums it up pretty nicely. First time buyers face a £33,000 average premium when using Help to Buy scheme. It says here, according to the price comparison site Really Moving, first time buyers using Help to Buy paid on average £303,000, which is significantly more than the average of £270,000 spent by those who bought a house on the open market. And this chat from Really Moving says, it is indeed, Help to Buy is indeed helping first time buyers get onto the housing ladder, like I just said in the pros, but it suggests that they may be paying more than the property is worth in order to get the help that they need to raise a deposit. As we said, guys, nothing is for free. You get that help to get onto the property ladder, but you're going to be charged a premium. I was, and that £33,000 average is really significant when it comes to selling your property, because like me, when it comes to selling, you might be in a situation where your property that you're trying to sell when you're ready to upsize, move out, go somewhere else, is actually worth below what you paid for it. That is a position that I'm in. And let's just do a quick worked example using those figures from the article. So at £303,000, if you're using the Help to Buy scheme in London, you're going to put down a 5% deposit, which is £15,150. You can get up to 40% from the government Help to Buy scheme. So 40% of £303,000, £121,200. And then the rest you get on a mortgage at £166,650. So that's how the numbers would stack up. What that article was saying is that if you bought this house on the open market, it would actually be worth £270,000. And as you can see in this cell here, it automatically calculates the value of the Help to Buy loan. The Help to Buy loan is an equity loan. So what that means is that the portion that the Help to Buy government scheme is lending you goes up or down in line with the value of the property. So if your property value goes down, the value of the Help to Buy loan goes down in line with that. So you pay off less. If it goes up, the value of the Help to Buy loan goes up, so you pay off more. In really high level, simple terms, that's the nature of the Help to Buy equity loan. So in this scenario here, let's say that you bought it for £303,000 and you move out 5 years later, but it's still worth £270,000. So when it comes to selling, you're gonna get £33,000 below what you paid for it. That's what it's actually worth. Now it's gone down in value, so you'll see that the Help to Buy loan portion has actually gone down as well. It was 121,200, it's gone down to 108,000. You also took out a mortgage on day one for 166,650 5 years later. Let's say after 5 years you've paid it down to, I don't know, £150,000. And hopefully you guys are still with me at this stage. But if I wanted to remortgage or sell my property 5 years later with it being worth £270,000, I basically have to repay or remortgage a total of £258,000. That's the mortgage outstanding of £150,000 plus the outstanding Help to Buy portion of £108,000. If I wanted to sell, I'll be okay. I'd make about 12 grand. But after you factor in agent and solicitor fees and finance repayment costs, I'll probably be left with about 9 grand. If I wanted to remortgage, I might struggle, guys, because the property is worth £270,000 and I basically need to remortgage a total of £258,000. You can see here that the LTV is 95.56%. Usually, it's a really general rule of thumb, the most that mortgage lenders will go up to is 95% LTV. I might find a mortgage lender who will go above that to 95.56%, but it might be tricky. And I'd pay a higher interest rate for that. So you can see here, guys, that when it comes to paying a premium for these new build Help to Buy properties, there are implications when it comes to remortgaging and selling. You're not going to make that capital increase, rise in the value of property that you would expect with properties on the open market, is less so with Help to Buy properties because you're paying a premium. So when it comes to whether the Help to Buy scheme was really worth it, the premium is a big thumbs down, okay? And that leads me to my final con, guys, which is the interest rate in this current environment. 5 years ago, I was paying 0% interest on the Help to Buy portion of the loan, and I was paying just under 2% on the mortgage portion of the loan. Today, if I had to remortgage today, 5 years later, I'm now paying interest on the Help to Buy portion of the loan, which from memory is between 2 and 3%. And if I'm remortgaging, I'm gonna go from below 2% to somewhere between 5 and 6%.
Jesus Christ.
So that is a significant increase in the amount of money that I'm gonna now be paying back on a monthly basis. So when you take out a Help to Buy loan, you need to be thinking about what's gonna happen down the line 5 years or more later when you start having to pay interest on Help to Buy loan, and if mortgage rates go up, both of which have happened to not just me, but thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people. So guys, that is a summary, right, of the pros and cons of the Help to Buy scheme after 10 years and whether the Help to Buy scheme was really worth it. And also whether you can actually afford to start paying the interest on the Help to Buy equity loan portion and also rising interest on the mortgage portion of the loan. Can you afford it? Are you on a wage that is able to absorb those significant rises as they have been for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people across the UK? I hope that was interesting, guys, and helpful. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Do you have a Help to Buy loan? How are you finding it? Guys, thanks as always for supporting the channel. Really appreciate you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with other people you think might benefit, because that's how this channel grows, and I'll see you on the next one.